there's no doubt that injuries are the least fun part of sports for the athletes, for the fans. And obviously, again, the athletes are the ones that are putting their bodies on the line to give all of us entertainment. And I will always appreciate athletes. I will always, respect them for what they're willing to do because it's a game they love and they get paid millions of dollars. But I don't think you should ever diminish the sacrifice that they make for their bodies, for their health, for their well-being, for their mental, sanity. Sometimes a lot of players have gone through serious fits of depression and, they have anxiety, and I just think we need to start looking at them as humans more. And that's kind of what the point of this video is. It's just like how many players in the league right now are affected and have been affected by injuries. Because this was just going to be a video about Lonzo Ball, but I feel like just making the video around one player who's suffering from one injury is just, a disservice, because there's plenty of guys right now that we haven't seen, as much as you would like to because of their injuries. And that dates back long before, today. So while the NBA is not the NFL and people aren't getting hurt, that often, you still see freak accidents like Gordon Hayward. I mean, that totally altered his career. He was still a decent player in Boston after that. It took him a full season to get back into, good shape. I mean, he ended up being like an 18 point per game guy who was a really underrated passer. But, he missed time in the bubble for the birth of his kid, and he's battled injuries since he's signed in Charlotte. Like, that's another guy whose career has just been completely flipped on its head because of injuries. And I'm really hoping that, guys like Zion Williamson or Lonzo Ball, those types of guys that were really high draft picks, really had a lot to offer, clearly talent-wise. The Bulls are way better with Lonzo Ball on their team. And, it's just really unfortunate that this situation is happening. And you also have to wonder, like, what exactly is happening? Like, what is wrong with his leg or his knee that he is just basically immobile? Like, he can't run without severe pain. I mean, that's not normal. And I think that there's a certain point in sports where, just some people, their bodies are just not built for the game of basketball, right? Like, there's a lot on your knees. You're landing, you're jumping all the time to block a shot, to try and dunk, to do a layup, to shoot the ball, to contest a shot. I mean, like, when are they not jumping and landing on those knees, right? Like, you see it with Kemba Walker later on in his career. You see it with so many guys with the knee injuries. Isaiah Thomas had the hip injury, that ended his time in Boston there pretty much. I mean, they shipped him to Cleveland and he was never the same. And, it's really hard for these athletes because, there's this whole concept of load management, and like, people make fun of players for not playing. And I think that to a degree, like with Kawhi in Toronto, I think is really where the load management started. That's hard as a fan because you want your players to play. You want your favorite players to, be there, to be healthy, to, contribute to winning basketball. And unfortunately, when your guys don't do that, it's you're going to be mad especially if you spend money, like your hard-earned money. I mean, these tickets are not cheap. You can be up in the nosebleeds for, $80 to see the Celtics. But if you're down low, like, that's $300 a pop, like, even just to be in that middle area. And I get it 100% why people would be upset if the player that they came to see play doesn't play. But these are also human beings, and you have to look at them like human beings. And if they are legitimately hurt, or they are nursing an injury, or they're trying to recover, like, that's part of the game. Injuries are part of the game. And I know, like, the whole Kobe quote of, oh, I was always going to play because there's someone there in the rafters that paid, to come see me play. And it's like, all right, dude, like, I get that, But if you're going to like ruin your career and like the rest of your life, like Dirk Nowitzki talked about how just immobile he was, and just the wear and tear of the NBA has just like seriously like lowered his quality of life since he's retired. Like this is not just something that you can call players wusses. You know, you have to respect them a little bit more, at least a little bit more than what you're doing right now. You cannot say that these guys are just not, they don't want to play, they don't love the game, they don't want to battle through their injuries. Like some guys have injuries that are, yeah, not as important, impacting them, and yeah, they might be able to push through it better than somebody else would. But I just like, it's just such a weird concept to hate a player for doing something that's beneficial for their own health just because it inconveniences you. Like, don't buy tickets to go to an NBA game if you're only trying to see one player who's clearly like, just buy them later on then. Like, I don't know. I really don't have sympathy for people who are going to play that excuse of like, I paid all my money. Like, my family bought tickets to go see the Celtics last year. And we went to the Nets game where they were up like 20 and ended up losing by 10. So it was a horrible game. But when the tickets were bought, the Nets still had KD and Kyrie. So the plan was for KD and Kyrie to, match up against Boston, which would have been fun, right? But I just think at the end of the day, if you like basketball, that's not an issue. Like, I was really happy to go see Mikal Bridges. I wasn't happy that he put up 30 on us and fucking torched us and led a crazy comeback where, the Celtics crumbled. But I just don't see the point in being upset about a basketball game, especially in the regular season. Like, if you want to see the best players play, just go watch the playoffs. They're going to play through as much as they possibly can in the playoffs. It's just weird to buy tickets for a regular season game and then be upset that your favorite player's not playing. I just think that's silly, personally. And I really can't harp on this enough. Like, when we talk about the mental health toll and the injuries and just everything that impacts these basketball players, like social media, like these people get death threats. Like, these are real human beings, okay? These aren't just fucking guys on a screen that dribble a basketball. Like, they have lives, they have families, they have friends, they have like, they're human beings. I just like it frustrates me to see on Twitter all these people, and again, Twitter, X, whatever, like, not the best place to meet normal people or talk to normal people. Like, a lot of people on there are just like being evil because that's where those people reside. But I think it's important nonetheless to, at least on your own, treat these people like individual beings. Sports is just such a toxic situation in a lot of fan bases where, for example, with Grant Williams, he was getting in the face of Jimmy Butler, and then he gets trashed on Twitter all night for it. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna like say that I didn't, I wasn't upset, but I would never like tag the human being and tell him like, you've got only so many days left before I kill you. Like, holy shit, dude, that is some extra ass shit. And like, we're just getting to a point where, especially to like, the Celtics fan threw a water bottle at Kyrie. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. And I don't care what team you support. I don't care what you think about players. I don't care what you think about Kyrie Irving. Like, personally, don't love the guy. Does he deserve to be assaulted? Absolutely not. It's unacceptable. I just feel like, as fans, I'm getting really, really off track here, but like, it really frustrates me with sports fans of just how out of control they can get. And, all them getting is just what, like a ban from the arena? Like, no, that's assault and you should be charged for it. So, more importantly, kind of like the more overarching point that I'm trying to make here with the whole video, just about injuries, is you have all these players, and like Lonzo and Zion are just perfect examples of this, because Zion was so hyped. You couldn't, like, when Zion was a rookie and he was about to make his debut, like, he was everywhere. Like, he was getting posted on everything. Okay, every major sports outlet was gonna post about Zion, was gonna make edits of him, was gonna, you know, anything that guy did was making headlines. Okay, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying that now that he's hurt, he's getting zero attention at all. And I'm just saying he was hurt in his rookie year and he was getting all kinds of attention and you were building all this hype. And Zion has been a remarkable player when he's on the court. Okay. Like seriously remarkable, super efficient, high 20 points per game. Like this is a real guy that makes fucking serious money to play basketball, and he is damn good at it. He is so good at it. And then now the hype's gone. Just giving up on that, and then and seeing what Lonzo did in Chicago and how he really got that team going and how struggling, they are, how hard it is for them to play winning basketball without him. He was clearly an integral piece to that season. What they were, I think they finished at the 6th seed, but they were like up there for a majority of the season. They were really high, and DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are talented, but Lonzo felt like the glue of the team. The guy who got everyone involved, the one who was a really efficient 3-point shooter. Like, how did that happen? These guys work on their games and they improve so much, and it just sucks that one injury can kind of take that all away. And I don't know. It's a topic of conversation for me because I just feel like no one really cares. We just like, oh, Zion's not playing. All right, let's go hype up Victor Wembanyama now. Let's go hype up Anthony Edwards now. Let's go do something else. And it's really unfortunate. And injuries are just a part of the game too. Like there are some, like Devin Booker got hurt last year, right? Like he's not an injury prone player per se. And sometimes injuries just happen. Like Jalen had the wrist surgery before the playoffs. Like there's some things that are just inevitable, right? Like players are going to have incidents, but just looking at players whose injuries or just overall time in the league have just changed their careers, changed their lives. Gordon Hayward got the bag, so you really can't be like sad for him about it. Like it's unfortunate for Charlotte and for Gordon Hayward because there was potential there. That that's a damn good basketball player, and one injury and then another injury, and it's just a spiral because once you get hurt once, it's easier to get hurt again and again and again, and it's a really unfortunate part of the game. And people also use injuries to discredit players all the time, like all the time. If someone got hurt, you're pretty much just going to put the asterisk on the whole playoff run that a team might have, right? Like LeBron is the expert at fucking putting an injury on after he, loses a series, and then just, oh, it was actually way more serious than anyone would have indicated. And now I'm going to make that excuse afterwards. All right, whatever. I don't know. I'm a LeBron hater, so fucking whatever. It's fine. You can make an asterisk on literally anything, okay? Like the Warriors had Zaza undercut Kawhi, on the baseline for that 3. And what does that do? That changes the course of history. Then Kawhi deals with that injury. It was kind of mismanaged. Then he asks out of San Antonio. It's just very interesting because some players just really get unlucky. And it sucks, like Greg Oden too. Like these are players that could have achieved a lot more had their health been a factor. And it's just really sad. And that's really just my point is as a basketball fan, not just to be like, oh, I wish I could have seen them play basketball. Damn them injuries. Like I feel bad for them because, they know what their talent level is. They know what they want to achieve in basketball. And, a lot of careers get cut short because of things like that. And a lot of people, have their seasons altered or their careers, their lives. You get injured in a contract year, you're not going to make that money, not after you just got hurt. So then what? You have to take a, 1-year deal and try and prove yourself again. And then maybe you get your new contract. But it's really sad because injuries are so unforgiving and they are so unpredictable that you might be having an amazing career, and then all of a sudden, you're done. So I just kind of wanted to make a video, I guess, just talking about that, and you know, respect the players. Just give them respect. Just respect what they do, and respect them and treat them like human beings. Don't throw water bottles at them. Don't cuss them out because they beat your favorite team. Don't fucking assault them or send death threats to them or their family. Like, we just let's be better, okay? We just need to be better.